Hello everyone, my name is Audrey Gardner and I'm an attorney at law. There are over 4 million immigrants who migrated from the Caribbean to the United States. These immigrants are from countries like Jamaica, Belize, Trinidad, Haiti, and of course, Cuba. They've been working in this country positively and they've contributed significantly to this country. The Caribbean immigrant communities have a vested interest concerning how the policies of the current administration may have an impact on their ability to obtain legal status to work, to go to school, and to petition for their family members to come to this country. What we'd like to do today, we'd like to talk about some of the most significantly frequently asked questions. So I'm going to focus on those today. Of course, this is going to be a very dilute information, and so if you have further questions, you may want to consult with an immigration lawyer who will be able to answer specific questions for you. One of the most frequently asked questions I receive is, what type of visas are there if we want to stay in the United States temporary? And of course, my answer has always been the B1 and the B2 visa. Why? Because those are usually the most frequently applied for visas that people generally apply for. That allows people to come into the country. The requirement is that you cannot stay for over 120 days or 6 months over the time. If you do, you're likely to lose the visa. You can apply for the B1 and the B2 visa in your home country, and if a relative wants to come to the country, you can apply for the visa, the application as well. They can apply in their own country as well. Another question I generally get is, what type of visa will allow you to stay in the United States permanently? To stay in the United States permanently, you need to have a green card. The process for applying for a green card is to have either your employers or a relative, or if you're an entrepreneur, apply for yourself. The employer can either be from your host country or from your home country. However, the most popular way is to have your family file for you and sponsor you. That family member could be your parents, your spouse, or the green card will be valid for 10 years, after which time you can start the process to becoming a citizen of the United States. As a word of caution though, every 10 years you're required to renew your green card. Another question I generally get is, what if my visa expires? What if my green card expires? Well, you need to try, most of all, to renew your visa before the deadline. And generally there's a fee for that. My best advice is always to tell people, you never know what type of a family emergency you may face, and so therefore it's always best to apply for the renewal way before the deadline. That way you don't run into travel issues. If you have an emergency back home, you have to go home for a funeral, you have everything already secured, and there's no need to deal with the bureaucracy of obtaining short-term visa status to be able to travel. Another question that we generally get is a question concerning DACA. DACA simply stands for Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. It addresses issues dealing with children who came to the United States with maybe a parent when they were before the age of 16. They came into this country as a result of their parents taking them here, which means that they did not intend to overstay in the country. They were brought here. And so as a result of that, they created a mechanism in order for them to be able to obtain legal status in the United States and move from being undocumented children to becoming people with legal status in the United States. Again, that applies to people who were here by 2007 and who were under the age of 16 at that time. And that way they're able to obtain a legal status eventually and eventually becoming a citizen of the United States. People are always talking about marriage. What type of visa are there? Well, marriage is one of the easiest ways to obtaining legal status in the United States. Of course, there's also the Fiancee visa, which allows a person who's in the United States to petition for a fiancé who's outside of the country. The only issue with that is that there's a required deadline in terms of how soon you have to get married, and if a person failed to marry the person who petitioned for them and remain in this country, they may lose their status and become undocumented in the United States. So it's very important that when you apply for that type of visa, that you take advantage of all the deadlines that comes with that type of visa, because it's not a permanent visa. It just allows you to be here for the marriage. Another major issue that's going on right now around the country is deportation. There's an influx of deportation right now, and so a lot of people have questions. What's going on? How can I remain in good status and not get deported? Well, in order to do that, there are several ways. You have to make sure that when you come and you have the green card, the visitor visa, whatever it may be, it's essential that you keep a clean record in terms of not running abreast with the law. Those are usually the areas that causes people to get deported. However, a few issues have been coming up lately showing that there are some people who are currently in deportation status who should not have been deported in the first place. Why? Because the immigration law allows a person who became a citizen, who was naturalized before their child became 16 years of age, that allows the child to have automatic citizenship. And so there are a lot of people getting deported that may have the possibility of even being an American citizen. However, they were not aware of this. They were not aware that they had to take another step in order to ensure that they obtain the citizenship that they were granted when their parents became a citizen. So these are opportunities where it's very important for you to consult with a lawyer if you're currently in deportation status or have been deported. It's never too late to consult with an immigration lawyer just to see if there's a remedy for you to return to the country or for you to maintain your stay in the United States as a United States citizen. Again, I hope this was helpful. I'm attorney Audrey Gardner, and for more specific questions, you may want to consult with an immigration attorney, but thank you for your time.